Bizarre Global.
Living here on Earth offers a wide assortment of smells and odors. Whether you are walking through a field of flowers, or chopping up a clove of garlic for dinner, your nose is always at work. If someone asked you what does Earth smell like, you would probably say, it depends on where you live. The Sahara Desert smells like sand, whereas some say Maine smells like pine trees. One could argue that Earth smells like seawater, because 71% of the Earth's surface is water covered, which is sure to smell a lot better than the options available on some of the other planets in our solar system. Have you ever stopped to think about what other planets could smell like? Fortunately, we don't have to guess, because scientists are able to determine the chemical composition of other planets. The most common method astronomers use to determine the composition of stars, planets, and other objects is spectroscopy. Today, this process uses instruments with a grating that spreads out the light from an object by wavelength. This spread out light is called a spectrum. Every element, and combination of elements, has a unique fingerprint that astronomers can look for in the spectrum of a given object. By using spectroscopy on the starlight that pours through an alien planet's atmosphere, we can learn the composition of the planet based on the wavelengths of light present. Every element has a certain atomic structure, which leads each to absorb/reflect different wavelengths. Mars is made up primarily of iron, magnesium, sulfur, acids and CO2. Based on the makeup of Mars and its atmosphere, researchers have concluded that Mars smells like rotten eggs. Jupiter's stripes and swirls are actually cold, windy clouds of ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen cyanide and water, floating in an atmosphere of helium. Depending on what layer of Jupiter you're in, you might smell cleaning supplies from the ammonia, rotten eggs from the hydrogen sulfide, or almonds from the hydrogen cyanide. Uranus is very cold and windy. The planet is mostly swirling fluids, its atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium, with a small amount of methane and traces of water and ammonia. The methane gives Uranus its signature blue color. Hydrogen and helium are pretty much odorless. But the ammonia would make Uranus smell like cleaning supplies or urine, and the methane would smell like a fart. The planet would probably smell similar to a public restroom. Venus has an atmosphere that is mostly carbon dioxide, the same gas driving the greenhouse effect on Venus and Earth, with clouds composed of sulfuric acid and sulfur dioxide. And at the surface, the hot, high-pressure carbon dioxide behaves in a corrosive fashion. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, does not have an odor. The sulfur dioxide may give off a smell reminiscent of burnt matches, skunks, rotted eggs, or natural gas. Saturn is blanketed with clouds that appear as faint stripes, jet streams, and storms. Is made mostly of hydrogen and helium, which are odorless. At Saturn's center is a dense core of metals like iron and nickel, which would smell like metal, perhaps coins or utensils. Dark, cold, and whipped by supersonic winds, ice giant Neptune is the 8th and most distant planet in our solar system. Neptune does not have a solid surface. Its atmosphere, made up mostly of hydrogen, helium, and methane, extends to great depths, gradually merging into water and other melted ices over a heavier, solid core with about the same mass as Earth. Neptune's atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium with just a little bit of methane. Hydrogen and helium are mostly odorless, but the layers of Neptune with methane would smell like cow manure. The smallest planet in our solar system and nearest to the Sun, Mercury is only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Instead of an atmosphere, Mercury possesses a thin exosphere made up of atoms blasted off the surface by the solar wind and striking meteoroids. Mercury's exosphere is composed mostly of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, and potassium. Depending on where you are on Mercury, you could smell salt, because of the sodium in the atmosphere. Enjoy discussions about science, technology, the odd and paranormal? Consider joining our cult. I mean subscribing to our channel.